Hello everyone, welcome to another discussion video of me talking about Splatoon 3. In this video, I'm going to talk about like the future of the game because as y'all all know, we're reaching the end of this game's update cycle next month. I want to talk about how I think things may happen, and I want to talk about Splatoon 4. That's later in the video. So think of this as like a prediction video. Now, before I really talk about like my predictions, I kind of want to talk about the next Splatfest. So, Summer Night Splatfest ended like 2 weeks ago. 2 days after it ended, they announced the next Splatfest, which is bread, rice, and pasta. And then the day after that, they announced the final fest. And that's like what's important: the past, the present, and the future. And call me a hater, but this has to be the most anticlimactic way to end this game. This game's lifespan. Like, this theme sucks. I'm sorry. Like, they should have made this the weekend Splatfest. Okay, I'm just being too harsh, but real talk, this definitely could have been better. It's the question that's getting me, like, what's important? I was actually hoping that was like a mistranslation, but nope, that's the Splatfest question, what's important? Now, if it was me, I would have said, if you had the ability to time travel, would you travel to the past, stay in the present, or travel to the future? I think that would have been a way more interesting question than just what's important. It doesn't even help that when you really look at the options, there's an idol group tied to each option. So it's like, in a sense, this is technically an idol fest, but I guess the theme really was truly lame. I think the devs even knew it was lame. That's why they included the idols, and it's actually working. This is actually an idol fest. I'm seeing people like, oh yeah, present for Off the Hook, or Deep Cut didn't get enough representation. Go Deep Cut. You know, this is an idol fest. This ain't no what's important. This is an idol fest. The what's important, it radiates the same energy as the gear grubbing fun one. There is no right answer because they're all important. You learn from the past to become a better person today. You live in a moment today to make memories and have fun, while at the same time the present also affects your future. Your future is important, the present is important, and your past is important. There's no right answer to that. Well, for some of y'all, maybe there is, but I think all three are important. So that's why I feel like this is a lame way to end off. And that's honestly why I feel like it should have been, if you had the ability to time travel, would you travel to the past, present, and future? Like, imagine that. And then get rid of the idol association, because a lot of people really do just choose for the idols. And I'm gonna be honest, that's lame if you do that. That's really lame if you choose for idols. But imagine that, like, obviously the final fest is gonna affect the next game. Like, if Team Future wins, we're traveling like into the far future in the Splatoon universe, you know, just like Breath of the Wild. Like, you know, is there gonna be like Breath of the Wild? It's like if you choose the past, like Age of Calamity was based off of like the past, you know? Yeah, bro, it's literally, you can put Sonic in the context, Shadow's the past, Sonic's the present, Silver's the future. Then you can put Breath of the Wild, so Breath of the Wild would have been the present, Age of Calamity is the past, and then Tears of the Kingdom is like the future. Like, oh my gosh, I literally think it's just a question. Ask the question better, get rid of the idol association. You got something cooking. You got something cooking. One more game I want to mention is Sonic CD. Sonic CD is a game about time traveling. Now, you start every level in the present, and your goal is to find these robot generators. You have to destroy these generators to create a good future. The only way you can destroy them, though, is by traveling to the past. By traveling to the past and destroying the robot generators, you create a good future. If you decide to skip out on destroying said generators, you create a bad future. And this is honestly why I think the concept of time traveling would have been better than just what's important, because you can travel to the past, you can travel to a good future. A bad future is like, that's cooler than just what's important. It's literally like, do I travel to the past to make a good future, or do I ignore the past and just live in a bad future? Or do I just waste Sonic's time and allow him to kill himself because he waited 3 minutes without me doing anything? But anyways, I've rambled on this long enough. Let's move on to the next topic, which is Drizzle season of 2024. I want to talk about Drizzle season of 2024, which is the 2-year update cycle ending. Like, next season is technically the last. I don't know why people thought Sizzle season was the last season. It's this season, but one thing that's been bothering me about the recent announcement of the Grand Fest is the fact that they announced it so early. Why didn't they just wait until the Drizzle season trailer to announce this, if you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what's going to be in the trailer, but they could have something, one more thing, like one more little surprise for us. But before I get into that, hear me out. Imagine this, right? You're watching the Drizzle season of 2024 trailer. We get new weapons, we get third kits. Not saying this will happen, this is like more predictions. And then you get hit with this trailer. You can't tell me this wouldn't have been one of the most hyped season. This would have been the most hyped season trailer if they just did that. On top of the big run, especially if the big run is in Splatsville. The Splatsville big run and the Grand Fest in one trailer on top of third kit, bro, that would have been the best trailer. But here's something I want to point out. Look at this right here. There's a, there's a little Splatoon menu, and right here at the bottom left, there's just space that's kind of there. It's kind of unused. I don't know if they didn't want to give us too much in the trailer, if they give us anything at all, which I hope they will, but maybe they have like another surprise up their sleeve, because we just have this. Like, what is this space used for? You could say it's a way to get to the crater in the Grand Fest, but that's what the train station is for. And adding on, I would want to already be at the crater when the fest starts. Like, they force you to go to the crater. Especially if the Splatsville big run thing is true, so like you're kind of just like, I can imagine that everyone's at the crater, we're having fun at this concert, but while we're at the crater, Salmonids are taking over Splatsville. I could see that. It'll be interesting, but that aside, I want to talk about what could possibly be in the next season. 2 new weapons are data mined. I would hope those weapons actually make it into the game, because Splatoon 2 did have this thing to where there was new weapons, but they didn't make it into. They wasn't added until Splatoon 3. I don't know what weapons there are. I'll put it on the screen if I can find information about that. But I would hope we get the 2 new weapons. I would love third kits, and I feel like every weapon should get a third kit. It shouldn't just be selected weapons. I hate when it's just selected weapons getting third kit. Every single weapon deserves a third kit, in my honest opinion. Obviously, there's the Grand Fest, and I hope the next big run is in Splatsville. As for the catalog, I don't think we're going to get a fresh new catalog. I think they're just going to start over. So the very first catalog Drizzle season of 2022, I think that's going to be the catalog we're going to get. A lot of people was like, oh, nah, we're going to get a new. No, I think that's it. Because the thank you for playing on top of the little hearts at the end of this last one. Yeah, I think they're done. We're going to get the very first catalog. That's a prediction now. I'm not saying that's true. It's just the reason I think that is usually at the end of a lot of games, they say thank you for playing because you reached the end, you completed the game, you made it to the end, and they're thanking you for making it and playing their, product. And, with this being the end of the update cycle, it's like they're thanking us for playing by giving us this title, and it's like, that's just me though. They might surprise us now. Adding gone, I know I pointed out about this little spot, but at the same time, that could literally just be it. We might not get anything, because in a more recent update, they did say no new features will be added. Editing this video, I realized I made an error. It doesn't say no new features will be added. Basically, every update until now, the update patches has always said at the end, new features will be added in the next update. In this update, they don't say that new features will be added. Now, what's a new feature? I'm not sure. But this is the one instance where they say no new features will be added, which is, again, kind of concerning, because they should be adding new features. It's the 2nd year anniversary. Come on, go all out. But, yeah, my bad on that. Yeah, I hope I said everything I had to say about this. I'm going to assume I did. If I didn't, I'll edit it in. But that being said, moving on to next Splatoon 4, something I like to talk about. Now, moving on to Splatoon 4, I see a lot of people talk about Splatoon 4 coming out next year. Some people think it's going to be like a launch title for the Switch 2, and some people just think it's going to come out next year. I want to be honest with y'all, Splatoon 4 coming out next year just sounds really ridiculous and very unrealistic. The reason I say that is because y'all got to realize Splatoon 3 came out 2 years ago. For Splatoon 4 to come out next year, they would have had to start development for Splatoon 4 as soon as 3 released, and I'm sorry, that just sounds like a lot of pressure for the devs. Like, they'll have to make patches for 3 while working on Side Order while working on Splatoon 4. Like, no. Adding on, let's say they did start Splatoon 4 as soon as Side Order released, because some people actually think that that's only 1 year of development time. No, really, 1 year of development time. That would be the most rushed Splatoon game we've gotten. Honestly, I want them to take their time with Splatoon 4. I don't want to see a Splatoon 4 till 2027 and 2020. I forgot to mention this while I was recording, but another thing is the Final Fest affects the next Splatoon game, so they literally cannot even write the setting or anything until the next fest has ended. I forgot to mention that. Let's go back to the original audio now. Hey, and I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I didn't want a Splatoon 3 this soon. I feel like Splatoon 3 should have been the launch title for the next Switch. I kind of hate that we got a Splatoon 3 so soon, and especially with it being very underbaked. Like, when I saw the announcement for Splatoon 3, don't get me wrong, I was hyped, but at the same time, I'm like, already? Like, don't get me wrong, I was happy, but it's just like, this feels too soon, and what do you know, the game is underbaked. Another thing is, I've always believed that there should only be one Splatoon game per console. It never really sat right with me with there being Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 3 on the base Switch. It did feel like it was rushing Splatoon 3, and seeing how the game turned out, yeah, it's definitely underbaked. Adding on, y'all need to realize that the Splatoon team is the same as the Animal Crossing team. Got to worry about the next Animal Crossing first. And then just the thought of getting 4 Splatoon games before the next Mario Kart, it just won't sit right with me. Right about the, like, if it does happen, that's 4 games before the next GTA 6. Imagine 4 games before the next Mario Kart. Like, no. I feel like they should have just updated Splatoon 2 for 1 more year, and then, you know, they could have worked on Splatoon 3, polished it, kept it in the oven way longer without any pressure, and made it a launch title for the Switch too. And then adding on, they could have made Splatoon 3 the ultimate Splatoon game. Obviously, they could have included way more stuff, better maps, netcode could have been better, better kits, a lot of things could have been better. And I want to say that instead of having a 2-year development cycle, they could have made it a launch title, and the update cycle could have been as long as the console's life cycle. So it could have been for like 6 to 7 years instead of the 2-year new game, 2-year new game, 2-year new game, you know? That's just me though. I don't want this video to be too long, but all I'm getting at is I don't want Splatoon 4 to be a repeat of Splatoon 3. Not saying that Splatoon 3 is a bad game, but it is pretty underbaked. It definitely deserved way more development time. That 3-month delay didn't do shit. It needed a year to 2, which is what I'm saying. It might as well have just been a Switch 2 launch title. Then we could have had, you know, the ultimate Splatoon game. It's worse because this is the 3rd game. That's what's hurting me. It's the 3rd game. It's like that 3, you know? 3 is like a special number when it comes to video game series. So it's like, just seeing like the 3rd series for this turn out the way it did, it does hurt. But yeah, and as I've been saying for the longest, this is kind of why I call Splatoon 3 the appetizer game. It's just something to hold us down for the next game, which I hope it's better. I'm sorry, but we didn't really get any new things in Splatoon 3 outside of the weapons. I don't count table turf. People say that's like Tetris, but it's nothing like Tetris. Please tell me how this is the same as this. And yeah, that's just how I feel. I just don't want another underbaked Splatoon game, you know? Like, they should just take their time, you know, polish the game, add everything at launch. None of this patching a jukebox in when 2 had a jukebox, aka Squid Beats at launch. Like, no, we don't need to be doing that. I want them to take their time, give us a complete experience. In fact, they really take their time, especially if they're working on it now and it don't come out to like 2028. Shoot, we can have 2 kits at launch. We won't have to patch in the freaking Squiffer or any of that. But yeah. One more thing. If Splatoon 4 was to actually come out next year, that'll just tell me that this series is becoming a cash grab, which I won't have much respect for. That being said, this video is getting way too long for my liking, so I'm gonna end it right here. Comment down below, what do y'all think is gonna happen? Like, make little predictions on how y'all think Nintendo is gonna end this game's lifespan. With that being said, if you did make it this far, thank you for watching. Y'all have a good night and y'all take care. I'll see y'all later.